We've been singing about change since the sorrow songs. We the people. A broken invitation birthed a remixed proclamation, the work of scarred hands crafting an imperfect union.
The relationship of art and democracy and justice is an urgent consideration, I think, for our current moment. One of the central tenets of a representational democracy is the right to be represented justly, but that doesn't only mean that we look to the law for this work.
As a cellist, what I try to do is to use the medium of sound to report on what I see in the world.
I think that democracy, maybe as succinctly as I can put it, means that the power lies with the people.
The truth of the work of art for democracy, which is that the artists work alongside leaders because they are leaders themselves.
How do we imagine together? How do we dream together? Sometimes imagining and dreaming seem to be the only ways that we might actually live.
So we ready? Yo, we ready. We gon' rip it or we'll tip it if it's steady. We gon' lift it even if the shit is heavy. Keep the mission with the vision on the deadly. Yeah, we ready.
Well, in 1790, we defined citizenship as being white and being male and being able to hold property. And our current definition of citizenship is far more capacious. But is the journey between 1790 and the current moment simply a legal narrative of justice? Or is it also a cultural one?
To me, democracy has at its root is the principle of including all voices in the path forward. That's what we're trying to talk about. How does that happen? That everybody is represented in a way that is equitable and has the opportunity for voice.
America and its people, art and democracy, call and response. This is our hand clap, our heavy-hearted harmony, our Hammond B3 punctuating history. The spirit telling us, this is not who we're supposed to be.
Artists dare to ask the questions that often other citizens will not. And we look to them for this work, and we inaugurate new narratives often because of what they show us we must come to see about ourselves. Ultimately, culture creates an arena for us to interrogate ideas that have fallen into the blind spot of that of others. The political arena, for example.
A mind where it's defined as being backed up. Yo, if the door's open and we all come through, and being here is what it all comes to, it was worth it to share it. I purposely cherish the very thought of a practice, creating habits to challenge the way to sharpen a steel that'll need itself to be better at doing what it does. It's what it always was, and what it will be will. And if we still be still, then there ain't no way that we'll be killed.
Responsible art responds to what is happening in any particular moment.
So many aspects of this last year have yielded itself to reflection. And to me, art is about that reflection. It's also about action. It's also about a way to remember what's happened to us as human beings, as a society, over and over again.
Over the course of the last 15 months, between the pandemic and the stillness it brought about, the focus on the preciousness of human life that it underscored, and the racial reckoning that came along with it, we saw no shortage of examples of the importance of culture and the arts for suturing together our fractured society.
Art. The thick lady in the third pew begging you to get on beat. Art. The moan-happy preacher interrogating your soul, asking for a witness. Art. The congregation hollering back, amen. Art. Beckoning us to be better. Art. Shouting, feet pounding down the aisles till a new path is paved.
I think that we should probably be listening a little bit more intently to those things. It's not that they aren't being made. I think that it has something to do with our listening practices. And so if we were better about actually listening to the art that the people are making, then we might have a better idea of who we are and who we mean by we when we say that.
Art. Symbiotic syncopation signaling. We need change.
One of, for me, the most salutary moments came from seeing an extraordinary young woman deliver a poem that just seared the hearts of this nation, Amanda Gorman.
How do we see the people who have been telling us consistently and constantly that we aren't living up to what we say we are? How do we become audience to art that comes from people who have been consistently cut out from the conversation? How do we see ourselves in something that is made by someone we tell ourselves isn't us?
And so I'll just read a few lines from the poem.
If you are present and you are seeing things, you must take a stand. You have to be a part of things. And your time is your time.
I think that what happens when you have a memorable moment that's truthfully transmitted and it lives in somebody else as a memory, and they connect to someone else with that magic, truth, wisdom, or whatever it is, then society goes on.
We cannot just have a vision of justice. We must be able to envision ourselves in that vision for justice to be served, for the right to representation that we all deserve. And she ends by saying, so we might be able to know ourselves in the reflection, so we might roar back to the vision there.
Art. Our questions. Our voice. Our amen.
Ha. Yes, yes. All right. Yeah. So you thinking that I'm here cause you let me? It's the system, not the person that upset me. Let me interject. When you say that you accept, I don't care if it's a yes or a no, you're gonna get me. Unapologetic, thought it so I said it, want it so I go and get it. Went and got it, now it's all around us. Talk the truth about it when it was a dream.